Hey everyone, social coach Michael Knight here, and today what we're going to be talking about is how bettering your social skills can turn you into a millionaire. Now, I've been part of the self-development world in some capacity or another for about 10 years. And during my journey from just before I even started coaching, but I was just learning these things myself and meeting people online in forums and also, Facebook groups for digital nomads and stuff like that. The percentage of these guys that I met, and women, that became super financially successful just years later, when at the time that I met them, they're just solely focused on improving their social skills so they could, date the people they wanted to date and network with the people they wanted to network with and have better friends. Even though they were focused just on that at the time, that had cascaded into multiple success in their life in other areas. And what really surprised me about this was I had graduated from an Ivy League university prior. And you would think the people I would meet at an Ivy League school, those would be the guys that would be making the most money, living the best lives, be the, if you look 10 years down the road. But I don't think a single one of my colleagues from university, or at least not close colleagues, is raking in millions of dollars a year. But such a high percentage of the guys that I met on some online forum or just while traveling the world as a digital nomad, such a high percentage of them are. And one thing is, I'll play my devil's advocate, right? There is a survivorship bias. There is the factor the guy you meet on a yacht in Croatia, well, if he wasn't a millionaire killing it, he wouldn't have a yacht in Croatia and you wouldn't meet him, right? So he would instead be back home in a cubicle somewhere doing something. But even that being said, still percentage-wise, the amount of guys that I met in the beginning of my social skills improvement journey, and I look at where they are now, you can see there's been a huge translation from the success with women and dating and networking to success in business. And what we're going to be going over today is why that is and what factors translate so well. But before we get into it, please remember to like and subscribe, since that's going to be doing me a huge favor when it comes to helping me grow this channel. A big shout out and thanks to my Patreon subscribers. If you haven't become one, please consider doing so, and you'll get access to a bunch of bonus material. The first major factor that heavily translates from improving your social skills to improving any other area of your life, including financial success, is developing an objective worldview. When you start learning social skills, a lot of times you have all this social conditioning from your entire life, your culture, your childhood, your parents, and this conditioning has told you one thing, and you think, oh, I just do this one thing and I'm finally going to get what I want. If I'm just that nice guy and I try to buy everyone's affection and I just don't do anything wrong, then someone will come along and love me, right? You have these stories you tell yourself, but you keep telling the story and keep telling the story and nothing ever happens. And at one point, these people, they're fed up with it. They're like, okay, it's time to figure out what am I doing wrong? It's time for me to take action. I'll just try different things. I need to figure out what works. And for the guys who are willing to take that mentality and really reprogram their brain and learn the things that I teach my clients about, like what really creates attraction, why people like you, why they don't like you, what your behaviors are subcommunicating, what your internal belief structure is doing to your interactions. When they actually reprogram themselves and learn that and see, wow, I've reprogrammed myself, I'm now looking at the world a different way, I'm applying information and acting differently than I did before because of my new, more accurate worldview and model of the world. Now I'm getting what I want. Now I'm finally dating the people I want to date, or having the friendships I want to have, or getting the business connections. And after first learning that in the realm of social skills, they go out into the world and they think, if I was wrong about this, something silly like why buying a drink is not always the best thing to do if you're trying to win a girl over. Something silly like that, right? If I'm wrong about this and I've now learned an accurate worldview here, what else about the world am I wrong about? Maybe I should look at all areas of life with a new, more objective lens and try to really understand and form a model of reality that better reflects it, and then do my actions based on that model. Now you can see in business or any enterprise how that type of thinking is going to lead to success, right? Instead of doing maybe what everyone else is doing and getting the results that everyone else is getting, instead you're willing to look at things at a different angle and try to understand how things really work, and then after understanding how they really work, be able to act much more effectively and be successful. The second major factor that results from successfully improving your social skills to a level where you're able to bring into your life the type of relationships you want is it gives you a sense of personal empowerment. This has been robbed from so many people, especially in this last generation. People kind of have a victim mentality and they don't realize the actual power they have over their own life. And that's one of the most amazing things about improving your social skills. Because for a lot of us, it's, I think, partially biological from evolution. You know, that fear of rejection and that feeling like I'm not accepted by others, or these people don't want to date me, or I always get rejected and turned down. You know, that is such a visceral emotion, and to actually then realize like, wow, I went from having no dates to dating incredible people maybe a year ago you couldn't even dream would be a possibility, that really rewires your mind. And for something that most people think is the most hopeless area of their life, they can think, oh man, maybe I can make more money or I could get that promotion, but to actually have other people start to like me and love me more, they just think that's such an intrinsic property that's unchangeable. To actually change that and improve their social and romantic life, it's incredibly powerful. And when they realize, well, if I can change that aspect of my life by gaining the proper knowledge and putting into work, then there's no other aspect of my life that I can't do the same. The third factor is that people who have worked specifically on improving their social skills become much more comfortable with failure. Now, I'm putting the failure in quotations, right, because I don't really think of it as real failure. They feel it as rejection or people turning them down. But as long as you're actually learning from the experience and your end goal is just to improve your social skills, and you don't just define it as trying to win a single person over, but being on the journey of self-improvement, then it's not really a failure, right? Because you're learning and you're on the path to success eventually. But anyway, so people who become comfortable with that type of rejection, they just become comfortable with rejection. What is like the hardest rejection you can imagine? It would be like a completely beautiful woman just completely ignoring you or rejecting you or turning you down, right? Can you think of like a stronger rejection than that? Well, what if you got used to that? What if that no longer scared you? What else wouldn't scare you? You learn that when that beautiful woman rejects you, it really wasn't that big of a deal and there was not really that big a risk involved with it at all. And when you realize that, and the fear is released from doing interactions like that, then that release of fear is going to translate into all different areas of life. And pursuing your dreams and going for their business or going for promotion or trying to do whatever you want to try doesn't seem that scary anymore, because you realize, there's no big consequences to the failure. A lot of it's just in my head. And now that I've learned to deal with that fear in this one capacity of, social interaction, you learn to deal with fear in all areas of life. And finally, the fourth factor is the most straightforward and obvious of all of them. The better social skills you have, the better social networks you can create. Social skills are like a muscle. The more you work them out, the stronger they get. And once you get strong with your social skills, the amount of opportunities that are available to you expands exponentially. Right? Because the 6 degrees of separation, every person you talk to is new opportunities. And even if you're not directly pursuing them, just the fact that your network's growing, or you no longer have that fear when you're at some party to go up and start a conversation with the guy, and next thing you know, they can help you out in some way with your business, or you exchange some ideas and those ideas help you out with your business, or you're not afraid to pick up the phone and call someone and ask them if they can help you with something. It'll let you form new connections and network to the point that you'll then have more opportunities available to you than you'll even have time to pursue. And it may similarly mirror how in your personal life you may have went from having very few friends to hang out with or very few dating options to again having more than you would ever have time to pursue. If improving your social skills is something that you're interested in so that you can profit for the countless benefits that we just talked about, well, then feel free to check out some of the resources linked to in the description below. My book is located there, as well as for those of you who are super serious about getting this area of your life handled and taking your social skills to the next level, I provide one-on-one coaching, and that application can also be found in the description below. That's all for today. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.